Good evening and namaskarams to all of you. I am sorry the AC is put on just now because our operator felt that all the cool people like Ranganathan sir, Shankar sir, they are so cool, we may not require AC. Anyway, I express my thanks to Mr. Shankar, Dr. Shankar, who is here, and sir, by coming over here and unveiling the bust of Mrs. Saroja Srinivasan, you have made the atmosphere fully charged. Though Mommy is not present here since last so many months, still in Sabha, we always felt she is there somewhere blessing us, and all the programs, all the projects what we have been doing has been going on very successfully because of her presence there. And today, we feel that she is with us once again. And to keep the tradition forward, as she liked the children, come November, or why come November, come August, September, she is to start talking about the Children's Day. And she always used to tell me, Murthy, last year we did that, before that we did that, next year it should be better. And this year, keeping that in mind, we have worked out a project which is very dear to her, Saroja Srinivasan. The project is distribution of uniforms to the school children. We have identified 150 students from a school who are yet to get the uniform, though the school is open since last 3-4 months. You can imagine what will be their state of mind. The management of the school, they were kind enough to let them sit in the class. Still, that guilty feeling, that inferiority complex is always with them. And the teacher told us that the efficiency of the children that is going away because of this particular inferiority complex. So we thought it fit to give the uniform to them, and at least out of the 150, at least 100 students, they realize what is done. In future, they will also do the same to their generations. I am not taking much of your time. Once again, thanks to each and every one of you, those who have made it today, and especially to Shankar sir, who have come here. And I am requesting Shankar sir to say a few words here. But before that, I would request Mr. Ranganathan sir to present a small memento to Shankar sir, who has come to our Sabha maybe since after 10 or 12 years. In the beginning, he was a person who initiated, he said, yes, we should have a building here. And afterwards, he has not made it possible for him to come. It was not possible for him to come. So, Ranganathan sir, please present a memento to him. Only around the corner, I think this is the right choice. And secondly, there are two things which will never go diminished. One thing is your knowledge. Even if you spend it, it increases. Another thing is diya. With diya, you can light thousands of diyas. We wish you all the best, sir. Thank you, sir.
काम परिपंथिनी कामिनी कामेश्वरी कामपीठ मध्यगते कामदुका भवकमले कामकोटि कामाक्षी माला सुदाम कुंभ विबोध मुद्रा विद्याविराजत करवारी जाताम अपार कारुण्य सुदाम्बुराशिम श्री शारदांबा प्रणतोस्मि नित्यम. Seeking the benediction of Devi Kamakshi, Kannale Arul Dharum Nayaki, and Jagannmata Sharda Parameshwari, Vagdevi Saraswati, that repository of all that is culture, knowledge, tradition, wisdom, art, learning and fine art, I bow to her as I commence my address today. It gives me great pleasure to associate myself with this pleasant and solemn function organized this evening by the Sabha in honor, memory and remembrance of one who is very dear to us, one who was part of this institution till the other day, who is no longer available to us in flesh and blood now, one whose spirit endures as he had said at the beginning, and more than anything, one who merged her identity with that of the institution and for the larger cause of furtherance of fine arts in this part of this great cosmopolitan city of ours. She was an epitome of all virtues. Much more than that, she was a manifestation of woman empowerment, Nari Shakti. Despite being a homemaker who never had the privilege of a corporate environment, the standards of networking that corporates give to you, and therefore you can realize all your dreams as long as you are a go-getter to go to the right source and get it done. She did not feel the absence of any of those things. She had a dream. Everybody has a dream, but she knew that she has to go through it, and the only wealth that she possessed was her perseverance and persuasion. She was an eternal reservoir of enthusiasm. உடையர் எனப்படும் ஊக்கம் அதில்லாது உடையதோ உடையதோ மற்று, said Valluvan. The greatest wealth that anyone can possess is the wealth of enthusiasm. What use is all the material wealth which is bereft of enthusiasm. She was a personification of the best of perseverance and persuasion, and it was that gave expression to our dreams and the realization of what we are seeing today. We come across myriads of people in our life journey. Some of them flash through our eyes and sink into the oblivion in no time. There are some who linger around the eye for some time and then vanish. There are very few who stand still for some time, touch the iris, move down the iris to secure a place in the hearts and minds of people. It is the like of those people who care for the larger cause of the society. They find a permanent place in the hearts and minds of people. And that's precisely what Saroja Srinivasan was. Today, if we are remembering her, paying tributes to her, and manifesting our gratitude and acknowledgement for the services that she has rendered, it is only because she has secured a place in our hearts and minds. Any excuse for celebration is fine. Celebrations are essentially of two types: of thanksgiving to the divine, and the second is to keep the past behind and move forward in life, knowing full well that this life is eternal. Friends, this life is like a Christmas tree, evergreen, snowy and fresh. No amount of snow or storm can weather its petals. So too is the human spirit. Despite the clouds of adversity through which the human spirit passes through, it invariably emerges triumphant. By its very nature, human spirit is celebration. But then not all partying in life is celebration. Only when there is a purpose which is attached to the celebration, then that celebration gains currency, and then it becomes important, and then only the body, the mind and the soul are in sync with each other. I think today, as we unveil the bust of Mummy, there is a sense that this event of today is a mix of both these purposes of celebration. It is of course thanksgiving to the divine, but for the grace of the Lord, such an evening could not have been possible. Isavasyam idam sarvam et kanchane jagatyam jagat, says the Isopanishad. Whatever happens, wherever happens, is permeated by the same divine force. It is that blessed divine force which has given us this evening. And the second, of course, as you correctly said, that she is somewhere around over here, so you cannot rest on your laurels and sit by it. You have to give expression to all that she fantasized, dreamt of an institution that has come up over here. And therefore, it is again a period that is to renew our commitment to grow this institution to greater heights in the years ahead. When she dreamt that she has to move away from Savitri Kunj, then I remember it better, where the music classes used to be held. She dreamt of a place, a public institution where music can flourish, other arts can flourish, and as you correctly said, she had the greatest thing for youth of the country, and therefore sports and anything relating to energizing the youth of the country was always in her agenda. And she wanted to have an institution which is a multi-purpose institution, but with focus of course on art. And that when she decided to do it, as I said, she had only enthusiasm in her pocket. To go through the hassles of bureaucracy, he is present over here. I can tell you that 99%, if you take a public vote on bureaucracy anywhere across the country, without exception, except that 1% goodness which is there in bureaucracy, you will find stumbling block, who will derail all your ambitions, who will drown your aspirations, who will kill your instincts, and sooner or later demise what you want to do. It was providence for her that she ultimately stumbled on him. If she had remained where she was in the collectorate, in the collector's office, I think even now from wherever she is, she will be dreaming. It was thanks to him that he saw merit in her enthusiasm, that there is need for a place in this part of the city, and more so when there is somebody with so much of commitment that we should do something for her. And that's why he managed through the maze of bureaucracy, this collector's land which came. Getting the collector's land was fine, paying for it was fine. But then when they give you an FSI of 0.1 and then tell you large tracts of the entire open space should be green, then imagine the size of the building that should come. That did not deter her. Because we should not lose this opportunity that has come our way. And therefore she gave expression to building this institution of ours. There was nothing that was there in her pocket that she could sign off and say, call the contractor to build bricks of mortar clay over a year. The amount of effort that she would have put in is to be seen to be believed. And her persuasion made even the toughest of people to give in and contribute to her. And the day when, I think that was the only area she sought the support of her son. Where is he? He's here. Otherwise, she was on her own. She said a little of corporate is also required so that I can move through the corridors of corporates and get this thing done. And what better way to have inaugurated this institution than at the blessed hands of Jagat Guru Shankaracharya, Pujya Sri Jayendra Saraswati Swamigal, and who anointed this institution with the name Sri Kamakshi Sabha. So he ensured that the name that is given to this institution by its very name will bless everyone who gets into this institution. Pirappokum ella uirukkum sirappova seidozhil vetrumayan, said Valluvan. All of us are born equal. There is absolutely no difference between any being, no matter whether you are a Hindu, all these are after birth only. But Valluvan says, difference between person to person, men to men, men to woman to woman, is not by birth, but by their accomplishments and deeds. By those standards of accomplishments and deeds, Saroja Mami was indeed a distinguished person, not in our eyes, right from the days of Valluvan. That was the greatness of the lady, that with the limitation that she carried because of her background of being a homemaker alone, and therefore the greatest responsibility that comes onto us is to preserve, promote and perpetuate all that she had given to us. Statues and busts are required for ordinary young persons who are ever in dread of losing their decrepit celebrity status. They never perish who live in the hearts and minds of people. Even as they move away from the physical plane, they become deathless institutions. They become the warp and the woof, the thoughts and the aspirations of the succeeding generations. They carve for themselves a niche in the rocky temple of reverential gratitude to that galaxy of men and women to whom the society owes an eternal debt of gratitude, not for a moment, but for the rest of life. Of people who had experienced her belongs people like Saroja Mami. In fact, despite all my commitments, when Ramesh said, "Idukadu vandru," I came in yesterday and today I had a very packed day. But I still said, I can never forget her. Because the only thing that I remember is, Yari lesil utudumata. But Pudicha vidamata. The Kadakadunu Terinjina, she had the discrimination to know that this is not the right source. That equanimity she had to know men and matters. And that is the reason why she could hit on the right targets and give expression to her dreams of us. As I come to the end of my address, normally I am not given to brief addresses, but today I am taking a brief address. Come to the end of my address this evening. May the Jagannatha Kamakoti Kamakshi bless not just this institution, its activities, and more importantly, may this enduring spirit of Mami, Saroja Mami, wherever she is ensconced in the company of her gods and her husband Srinivasan, bless this institution, guide the people who manage this institution, and take it to greater heights of achievement in the fields in which it gets deeply engaged. And more importantly, let us all incorporate into our lives, through passage of time in this eternal quest, in this pilgrimage of perfection, a little of that perseverance, a little of that persuasion, a little of that selflessness, and more of that sacrifice that was the hallmark of her life, and make our life sublime. Thank you and God bless.
Now may I request the person who helped us in getting 42 clearance from the government of Maharashtra. It's not a joke. As sir said, for getting one clearance you have to be there for hours together and sometimes it doesn't go through. 42 clearance for getting this building done, and the person responsible to whom we have been going, and he himself has been volunteering to do certain things, is Mr. Ranganathan. May I request Mr. Ranganathan to come and say a few words.
Respected Dr. Shankar, trustees of the Rasika Ranjani Sabha, members of the managing committee, and assembled dignitaries. I think it is in spite of what Dr. Shankar has said, I think it is something which is very remarkable that we cannot forget Saroja Bami, because I remember right from the year 2001 onwards, with lot of humility and politeness, but great persistence and sincere devotion, she used to keep pursuing every matter. And it is very touching to see the amount of anxiety and concern had anything. If some notice comes today, next day she says we have to reply immediately. So, and I think it is her persistence which has resulted in this Sabha getting this piece of land and then this building getting constructed. And as Dr. Shankar said, we owe it to her to see that the institution which she nurtured and developed goes to greater heights, serves the society in a more effective manner, and promotes the cause of music. See, in Niti Shatakam, Bhartrihari says, Sangeetha kalavihinaha sakshat pashupucha vrishanaihinaha trinanna kadavidhyave etah parabam vagadeyam pashunam. He says that a person devoid of music and arts is nothing but like a head of cattle. Only difference is he does not have horns, he does not have a tail. And one more difference, it is to the good fortune of the cattle that he does not eat grass, otherwise nothing will be left for them. So now in this work, what we are finding is over a period of time, the sincerity and dedication of Saroja Mami, we have been able to build up and conduct a number of programs. We will also seek been seeking the guidance of Dr. Shankar, because the moment the plot was allotted, we went to him and requested him to tell us how the building should be designed, who are the persons whom should be asked to design and construct, and what should be the organizational plan of the Sabha, how it should be managed so that things can go on smoothly. And with his guidance from time to time, and we had the good fortune of His Holiness Shankaracharya of Kanchi Jayendra Saraswati coming in inaugurating this building, and with that I think the institution has gone from strength to strength. Even though the institution has developed, I think there are a couple of issues on which we have to ponder over and what we can do. First is the number of persons attending the programs regularly is coming down by day. Even though the membership may be in something like 650 or so, regular attendees of the programs are very few, they are not coming. How to improve the attractiveness of the programs, whether by publicity or by contacts or persistence, so that we can get more people in it. Then second thing is, what we are finding is that earlier, before this building was constructed, the Sabha used to call some eminent musicians from south who could perform in a hall. I remember I attended one program in Kama Hall in Ghatkopar East, Now, I find that now, as it is happening, these programs are not getting organized. Now that the pandemic is over, how do we organize such programs where we call eminent artists that would not only be able to sort of, evoke response from the community, it will also inspire some of the boys and girls to take to music and dance. These are the issues on which I think you have to consider. And I think it has been our good fortune that we have got the benefit of Saroja Mami, and over the last few months we find she is, irreplaceable, in the sense that a person who is there all the time without any expectation, serving us and all, supervising the program, getting that things are done and all, I think it is irreplaceable. But we do look for some persons who can come and do some voluntary work and help the Sabha to grow forward. With these words, I would like to express my gratitude to Sri Ramesh Srinivasan and his family, who have been good enough to organize these activities and get the bus made and arranged for the inauguration. And we do hope that as we enter the building, this bus serves as an inspiration to us to follow in our path to the extent we can. Thank you.
Now may I request one of the family members of Ramesh Srinivasan to come and say a few words. Sumithra, please come.
Thank you so for your kind words. Jayanti te sukrutino rasasiddha kavishwara nasti kesham yashatkaye jara marana jambayam. Just translated means the great poets who are perfect masters in their art and who are therefore perfect in the expression of sentiments in their composition are indeed worthy of respect and glory. The body of their pure immortal fame is free from fear of old age and death. While I'm talking about poets and their compositions, I think we can just say Amma or Saroja Mami is the poet who gave expression to the composition of this building, of this Sabha. Right, so that is why I took that shloka as and all the movie buffs out here will know that that's a shloka that was told in Salangai Oli in the end. So it's just a direct pick from the movie. But moving on, nowadays we hear the saying 60 is the new 40, 70 is the new 50, 50 is the new 30 and so on. But Amma actually epitomized this in 1998 itself to take up the revival of Rasika Ranjani Sabha. When most men and women just hang up their boots and say, let's retire, let's lead a... She decided to open her new innings. And what a great career she had. 25 years of nothing but Sabha, Sabha and more Sabha. So there she hit a quarter century. She lived through a glorious journey of seeing the Sabha. At one point, it was almost bankrupt. And now it is absolutely, it's a legacy that she has left behind. It's a vibrant, it's an active and a glorious organization. I think a truly rare and remarkable feat, which is pretty unparalleled, right? So while I'm talking about Sabha and its glories, I want to get into a little politics. Please do not mind, I'm not getting into the elections that are coming up. But in her case, Sabha was her first child, way ahead of Ramesh and Deepa any day, which has been their constant complaint. And all the committee members were her real siblings, I think ahead of her own sisters. And I'm not joking when I say this, okay. Her day typically began with an about or from a call to Sabha, ended with call from to or about Sabha. No doubts on that. In fact, the last day, the last evening, she was on calls with people. I remember Usha Mami also telling me that you have to be the connection between Sabha and Nada Brahmam. And she says, you are sending me a message saying she's no more. How is it even possible? Right? That was Sabha for her. She dreamt constantly, like Shankar sir and Ranganathan sir said, she dreamt constantly about Sabha. I think, subconsciously she just followed Dr. Abdul Kalam's words. It is a crime to dream small. She dreamt and she dreamt big. And that is when the whole idea of having a building, a premise for the Sabha, which Mr. Ranganathan, guided her through every permission, like Mr. Shankar mentioned. And there were relentless, innumerable meetings, Mr. Mahadevan, Mr. Chandrasekhar, Mr. Murthy, Sadakopan Mama, Raja Mami, Kanta Mami, everybody is aware of it, Savitri Mami. Earlier, of course, Jaya Mami and also Vasumati Mami, I think, if I have not missed out anybody. The push calls, the visits to Mantralaya, the visits to collector office, I think there she hit a century, no doubt about it. She must have made at least 100 visits, no doubt. And at every stage, like Mr. Ranganathan said, a permission would come, she would call him, sir, ungalku first solano, we got this permission. Sir, idu reject aagte, how do we reply to this notice? I don't know the number of calls she has made to him, and she always looked to him for guidance. At that stage, I think a small incident is that her permission had got rejected. And she actually went and met the then Chief Minister Shri Vilas Rao Deshmukh and got the rejected permission reversed and got the approval done, which was not easy, right? At that point, I just have to say this, she pushed every committee member up the wall, especially Mr. Chandrasekhar and Mr. Murthy, I think, are testimony to that. She did not even hesitate to reprimand them, but it was all for a good cause. So I think at that point, it would not be wrong to say that, oh my God, call from Saroja Mami and the committee members would get scared. But jokes apart, one side she was working on the permissions, the visibility of getting the premises. On the other side, she was looking at the funding simultaneously, right? The minute there was a little bit of visibility on the premises and the building, they gave a budget of about 60 lakhs and I think we ended up spending over 2 crores on this building, right? Can you imagine the starting budget and the ending budget? So she met Mr. Shankar at the SIS office many number of times. Mr. Ranganathan helped, set up the meetings, come for the meetings. Sir, you have been talking, waxing eloquent about her, but I'm sure, sir, at one point you would have just got fatigued with her meetings and her push and decided to help financially and guide on the Sabha. So, with due respects, jokes apart, I know, both of them held her in great regard. She held them in great regard. In fact, they had both visited us in our Garodia Nagar house one day. And she remained eternally grateful to both of them. And she has mentioned this constantly and forever. This is something Ramesh, myself and Deepa will vouch for. And there's not a day that she has not mentioned the two of you. So thank you very much, sir, both of you, for being her guiding force. So we have been talking about the funding, the bringing up of the Sabha and everything. There are two very small episodes, which quickly come to my mind. Murthy sir, it will be well within the time limit of 5 minutes, so don't worry. One was the encroachment of the vegetable vendors. You can see a very vibrant vegetable market here today. So there was an encroachment, and when the map was made, she suddenly realized that they had encroached. So how do we take care of this? Because they even made threatening calls saying that if you move us out, we will immolate ourselves and things like that. There she took the policy of lage raho munna bhai. She was on constant meetings, constant talks, settled the matter amicably and did it in such a way that they got a beautiful place to sit and hold the market, continue their livelihood, and not an inch of space was lost to the Sabha. So that is how she settled it. And the second incident was when the building was being built, after all these permissions and all, one of the young engineers of Vascon got a threatening call saying, if you continue to build this, we will take your life. Then again, Mr. Ranganathan helped set up a meeting with the police commissioner. I think Ramesh, Mr. Murthy, Mr. Chandrasekhar had gone to meet the police commissioner, and she arranged for police patrols to be around here. So that after a few days, when they saw the police patrols coming, the threatening calls actually stopped. So that is the, small things that she had actually worked on the Sabha, and that's how, the building standing here today is testimony to all the efforts that she put in. The ladies who initially started out with her, extremely close to her, Jaya Mami, Savitri Mami, Kanta Mami, of course, Raja Mami, Vasu Mami, Kaveri Mami. I mean, so many of you are all here. There is no way if I have not mentioned any names, please, it's my mistake and inadvertently from my side, but extremely close, and I'm not wrong in saying I think you are more of her siblings than her own sisters. Absolutely no doubt about it. and every single faculty. So I cannot not mention the faculty. All of them are here, just because of the affection they have for her. I think Janaki is here, Mamta is here, Rohini ma'am is here, Bhavani mami is here, the sports faculty is here, Padmi teacher and Ravi and Shankar have sent their regrets because there's a program. Prema teacher has left that program to come here. Thank you so much. Jayashree ma'am here, over here, everybody, Rohini ma'am. I mean, the faculty, not only the faculty of the Sabha, but the entire music fraternity of Mumbai. She was very close to all of them. She revered them, they revered her. There is absolutely no doubt about it. Bhavani mami was her go-to person for any musical program. Bhavani, neenga sollunga inne. Even if it's a light music, she'll say, neenga or part recommend panningla, the part cholla. I mean, I remember the innumerable calls that she made. She knew everybody's phone numbers by heart. So I was having difficulty in getting the phone numbers and sending invites because she knew by heart and I didn't have it saved anywhere. So I had to actually pull out her diary and send all the invites. So that's what happened. And of course, just completing the very quick speech. Our family, all of us, we are eternally thankful to the entire committee members, Rasika Ranjani Sabha, Murthy sir, Kannan sir, Kanta mami, Sarthi mami, Raja mami, Kumar sir, Hariharan sir, and Chandrasekhar, Ardik, Rajesh, Devarajan sir, everybody, Mahadevan sir. I think Mahadevan sir is also witness to many of the meetings that have happened, when the Sabha was revived. It's a legacy to things that really touched me. The day she passed away, the classes were all suspended for 2 days and they insisted that we bring Amma's body over here and paid the last respects. And today, and of course the photograph, so that the photograph was placed right there so that she can see every program that is happening here on stage, and the bust that they initiated. And we are eternally grateful to all of you because I know the kind of affection that she had for you, and I know the kind of affection that you have had for her. Thank you very much. Today I am really emotional in front of this august audience because it is her pull that has made you all come here. Thank you very much. Eternally grateful to all of you. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Smruthi, but more famously known as Saroja Mami or Peti. Starting whenever I used to get out in Garuda Nagar, I have always been known as, I would not know the person who's in front and they'll always come in, tell me that Saroja Mami or Peti Ebdirke, Mami ta sollu na paat, and I'll come home and tell party, I met this person, but I'm sorry, I don't know the name. So that's how she's been for me. I speak for Nivedita, Dhananjay, who's not here, and me. She has been an inspiration with her drive, with her passion for what she has to do, and there's still lots we are still learning from her and will continue to learn from her. And even if we can accomplish even 1% of what she has done in her life, I will consider ourselves blessed. Thank you to everyone and all of y'all for being an extended family to us. Nivedita.
Hi everyone, I'm Nivedita. I'm also Saroja Mami's granddaughter. So since we're in the Sabha, I want to talk about my memories with Sabha and party. So since the age, until I think 7th standard, I spent all my summer vacations in Party's house in Ghatkopar, and she enrolled me in all of the classes, right? Whatever within Sabha or outside Sabha, whether it's music, dancing, drawing, calligraphy, guitar, basketball, she used to keep enrolling me. And I've also competed until 7th standard into multiple competitions, whether it's like Carnatic music solo or folk music solo or folk dance, group dance or Carnatic group dance or whatever. I've always competed, and she would always be in the audience, and she'd be the person I'd be looking to because she'd be so proud that I'm performing. And then post the performance, she'll take me around to meet various people, and then she'll say that this is my Peti, look at her potential in like music and dancing. Sorry party, I did not live up to that potential, but she was so proud of me, and she'll take me and introduce me to everyone in the Sabha. And I also remember these few instances, when music competition is happening and she's sitting in the audience and she'll realize, everyone is like either very experienced or very talented. So she'll pull me out of the competition and then she'll enroll me into, like a lower age bracket because she thought maybe I'll feel disappointed if I don't perform. So she'll tell me, no, they seem very old, they don't seem like your age. So, I'm putting you into this lower bracket age to compete. And even when I would have won, you know, a second or a third place in these competitions, Sabha used to give the trophies a little later. So whenever I used to get the trophies, sometimes I would get the first place trophy instead of the second or the third place. And Party will say in like innocence, she'll be like, no, I think they gave it by mistake, but now I won't return it, you keep it. Or you know, sometimes she'll be like, I think they got second and third trophy was over, the stock is over, only first trophy is there, so you keep it. So, you know, while everyone's spoken about, you know, how much of a go-getter she is, or, you know, passionate she is, and, you know, she's ethical, she's all of those things, but she also had like a soft and naughty side to her, very protective side to her, and that is the side that I miss the most. And thank you so much for everyone for, you know, keeping this. I have fond memories of the Sabha, and I'm very grateful that her legacy will be carried on. I also have, a message from Nitrishi Mahadevan. Dear Sumithra, very sad to see this. I didn't know about the demise of Saroja Mami. She was very affectionate towards me and wanted to see my daughters perform for Ghatkopar Sabha. Such a wonderful and kind person and a great patron of music. Namaskaram to Mami. Yeah, thank you everyone.
I have promised Mr. Shankar that I will relieve you by 6:15. Sir, 5 minutes more. Only one speaker left. Mrs. Hariharan, Kaveri Hariharan. Please come.
இந்த சிலை திறப்பு விழாவிற்கு சரோஜா மாமி சிலை திறப்பு விழாவிற்கு இங்கு வந்திருக்கும் டாக்டர் சங்கர் அவர்கள், டாக்டர் ரங்கராஜன் மாமா அவர்கள் மற்றும் மாமியின் குடும்பத்தினர், எம்ஜிஆர் மாமா மற்றும் ரசிக ரஞ்சனி சபாவின் முக்கிய பொறுப்பில் இருப்பவர்கள் எல்லாருக்கும் என்னுடைய பணிவான அன்பான நமஸ்காரங்கள். தோன்றின் புகழோடு தோன்றுக அஃதிலார் தோன்றலின் தோன்றாமை நன்று என்ற வள்ளுவன் வாக்கின்படி மாமி புகழோடு தோன்றி வாழ்ந்து மறைந்து விட்டாலும் நம்மளுடைய எல்லாரும் மனதிலும் இன்னும் புகழோடு வாழ்ந்து கொண்டுதான் இருக்கிறார். மாமி ஒரு ஞாபக சக்தி பெட்டகம், கணக்கில் புலி. எல்லாரோட லேண்ட்லைன் நம்பரும் ஃபோன் நம்பரும் எல்லாரும் ஃபிங்கர் டிப்ஸ்ல மாமிக்கு. இப்போ எனக்கு காவேரிக்கு ஃபோன் பண்ணணும்னா டக்குன்னு பண்ணிடுவோம். நம்ம கான்டாக்ட் நம்பரை பார்த்து ஃபோனை பார்த்து டைரி பார்த்து எல்லாம் பண்ண வேண்டிய அவசியமே கிடையாது. எல்லா நம்பர் தெரியும். நமக்கு ஒரு 100 கான்டாக்ட்ஸ்னா மாமிக்கு ஒரு 1000 கான்டாக்ட்ஸ் இருக்கும். ஆனாலும் மாமிக்கு எல்லாம் ஞாபக சக்தி ஜாஸ்தி. மாமி இப்படி லேண்ட்லைன் மொபைல்னு சொன்ன உடனே மாமி கிட்ட ஒருக்க சிரிச்சுட்டே சொன்னா, மாமி யாருக்கோ ஃபோன் பண்ணியிருக்கா லேண்ட்லைனில். அப்போது அவர் லேண்ட்லைனில் பேசியும் இருக்கார். அப்போது இதோட வேலை சொன்ன உடனே, மாமி நான் பாம்பேல இல்லையே வெளியூரில் இருக்கேன்னு சொல்லியிருக்கார் அவர். அப்போ மாமி சொன்னாலாம், இப்படியாகும் நான் உங்கள் லேண்ட்லைனாக்கும் பேசுகிறேன்னா நீங்கள் எப்படி வெளியூரில் இருப்பேன்னு சொல்லிட்டு எங்கிட்ட சிரிச்சுட்டே இருக்கு. மாமியோட ஒரு இது எங்கிட்ட சிரிச்சுட்டே பேசினா எங்கிட்ட ஒருக்க சொல்லின்னு இருக்கா. மாமியோட இந்த ஃபோட்டோக்கு இந்த முத்து மாலை கூட என்னோட சிறிய அன்பளிப்பாக நான் தான் பண்ணி போட்டேன். அது மாமியோட ஃபோட்டோவில் தொங்குறது, அதை நான் தான் பண்ணி போட்டேன். எனக்கு அது ஒரு ரொம்ப சந்தோஷம். எனக்கு என்னோட சிறிய அன்பளிப்பு மாமிக்கு. அப்புறம் மாமி கொஞ்சம் வருஷத்துக்கு முன்னாடிலாம் மாமி எங்கிட்ட நான் வந்த உடனே சபால் எந்த ப்ரோக்ராம் நடந்தாலும் இந்த ஸ்பான்சர்ஷிப்போட அட்வர்டைஸ்மெண்ட் எல்லா ஃபோட்டோவும் எடுத்து, இந்த யாரெல்லாம் அங்கே ப்ரோக்ராம் பண்ணுறாங்களோ அவார்டு ஃபோட்டோ எடுத்து எல்லாம் வாட்ஸ்அப்புக்கு அனுப்புங்க காவேரி சொல்லுவாள் எங்கிட்ட. நான் அந்த மாதிரி எல்லாம் செஞ்சு கொடுத்துருக்கேன் மாமிக்கு. இந்த சபாவை நன்னா முன்னுக்கு கொண்டு வந்தது மாமியும் மாமியோடு சேர்ந்த எல்லாரும் தான். அதே மாதிரி ரசிக ரஞ்சனி சபா சக்தி லேடிஸ் கிளப்பையும் மாமிக்கு முன்னாடி பொறுப்பு இருந்துட்டு ரொம்ப நல்லா கொண்டு வந்திருக்கா மாமி. எல்லா உமன்ஸ் டே இன்னைக்கும் அந்த துறையில் இருக்கிற பெண்மணிகளுக்கு நல்லா என்ன சொல்லுவா கௌரவிச்சு அவளுக்கு மரியாதையும் பண்ணி அனுப்பிச்சிருக்கா. மாமியை பற்றி சொன்னால் நிறைய சொல்லிண்டே போகலாம். எனக்கு தெரிஞ்ச ஒரு 5-6 உங்கள்கிட்ட நான் சொல்கிறேன். அவள் தான் மாமிக்கு அதிராத பேச்சு, அமர்ந்த சுபாவம், எல்லாரையும் மரியாதை பண்ற பேசு. ஒருத்தராவது நீ போட்டு ஒருமையில பேச மாட்டான். இப்போ கூட எனக்கு மாமி அங்க உட்காந்து என்னோட பேச்சை கேட்கற மாதிரியே இருக்கு. நான் பேசி முடிச்சதுக்கு அப்புறம் ரொம்ப நல்லா பேசினாரு காவேரி அப்படின்னு எங்கிட்ட சொல்ற மாதிரி எனக்கு ஒரு ஃபீலிங் இருக்கு. அவ்வளவு தூரத்துக்கு மாமி நம்ம கூடவே தான் இருந்துருக்காளே தவிர மாமி போன மாதிரி ஃபீலிங் யாருக்குமே இருக்காது. இப்போ கூட நான் பேசி முடிச்சதுக்கப்புறம் எனக்கு மாமி காவேரி இப்போ நல்லா பேசினீங்க அப்படின்னு எனக்கு திரும்பி சொல்கிற மாதிரி எனக்கு ஒரு ஃபீலிங் இருக்குது. அப்புறம் எனக்கு மாமியிட்ட தனியாக மதிப்பும் மரியாதையும் உண்டு. மாமியை பற்றி பேசுறதுக்கு இங்கே எனக்கு வாய்ப்பு தந்த ரசிகரஞ்சனி சபா எல்லாருக்கும் என்னுடைய ரொம்ப நன்றியை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறேன். மாமியின் புகழ் ஓங்குக, வாழ்க. நன்றி, வணக்கம்.
Now, a Hindu custom, there is a lot of importance given to coconut. And somebody asks, why this? They say one person should be like a coconut. Very strong, very stubborn from outside, but they should be very simple, very delicate, very sweet from inside. That is what it teaches, and that is what mommy was. So I thank all of you, those who have come here, and it was a wonderful evening. And thanks to Dr. Shankar once again, and Mr. Ranganathan, who has been always with us, and everyone. Thank you once again. So we come to the end of the program. Thank